Solar versus traditional electricity. Which one actually wins in the long run? Hey guys, you're welcome back to Solar and Beyond with Kenneth, where we talk about solar finance and business and make this simple and clear for you to understand. If I told you that over the next 25 years, you'll spend between $80,000 and $100,000 on electricity, and at the end of it, you own absolutely nothing, would you still choose that option? Because that's what most people are doing right now. They're basically just renting power. But what if instead you own your own power plant on your roof? Today, we're breaking down solar versus traditional electricity, not emotionally, not politically, but financially and strategically. At the end of this video, you'll know which one actually wins in the long run. Let's talk about electricity bill trap. Imagine two neighbors. Neighbor A stays on grid, neighbor B installs solar. They both live in the same region, for example in Toronto. Both spend $200 a month on electricity. Neighbor A keeps paying that bill every single month, year after year. And what most people don't think about is this. Electricity rates don't stay flat, they increase slowly, quietly, and relentlessly. So that $200 quickly becomes $230, $260, then $300. Over 25 years, that's potentially $80,000 to $100,000 paid to the utility company. And to what end? Absolutely nothing. No assets, no ownership, no control, just receipts you receive monthly. Now let's look at neighbor B. Neighbor B installs a $30,000 solar system. Painful upfront cost? Yes. But here's what people miss. Solar panels last 25 to 30 years. Most come with 25-year performance warranties. After installation, electricity costs drop drastically, maybe even close to zero if properly sized. So instead of renting power, neighbor B bought the infrastructure. Think about that. One person is paying forever while the other person pays once. That's a completely different mindset. Grid power costs you $200 per month times 12 months times 25 years. That's $60,000 in electricity bill over the next 25 years. Now let's factor in rate increases. It could easily get to as much as $80,000 or more over a period of 25 years. Let's look at scenario 2. Solar costs $30,000 upfront, maybe $5 to $10 over time for maintenance or battery replacement over the period of time. Total, you get $35,000 to $40,000 over 25 years. And after year 10 to year 12, it's essentially power free. Basically, you get free electricity from the sun. So financially, who wins? We can now see that solar usually wins long term, especially if you stay in your home for 7+ years and above. Let's look at ownership versus renting. Traditional electricity is renting like an apartment. Solar is like buying a property. When you pay rent for 25 years, you help your landlord build wealth. When you buy a property, you build wealth and you build equity. Solar turns an expense into an asset. And here's something most people don't even realize. Homes with solar often increase in value because the next buyer inherits lower electricity bills. That's leverage right there. We're going to talk about reliability and energy security. We have so many places where grid is stable. However, there are so many other places where they don't have access to stable grid or stable electricity. But even in places where you have stable grid, we've seen so many outages during hectic winter storms or even during infrastructure strain. Add battery backup to solar, you automatically have power when others don't. Now imagine places with unstable grid. You have to factor in generators, fuel costs, and in those environments, solar isn't just savings, it's survival. Energy independence has value beyond money. Here's where solar quietly dominates also. Grid electricity depends on fuel prices, carbon taxes, government policy, utility decisions. You don't control any of it. But with solar, you lock in your costs on day one. That makes solar a hedge against inflation. And over 20 to 30 years, inflation is not your friend, but fixed costs are. So who wins? If you own your home, you plan to stay in your home for 7+ years and above, you have decent roof exposure, you finance properly or pay cash wisely, solar definitely wins long term. If you move frequently, you live in an apartment, electricity is extremely cheap where you are, then traditional grid may make sense for you. But for most homeowners, solar shifts you from consumer to producer. You become your own little IPP, independent power producer. From renter to owner, from vulnerable to independent. Traditional electricity is an expense. Solar is an investment. The question isn't, is solar cheap today? The real question is, where do I want to be financially in 25 years? If you're serious about energy, wealth building, long-term thinking, this is exactly what we do here at Solar and Beyond with Kene. Click the subscribe button, click the notification button, like this video, and see you on the next one. Let's build smarter.